Saying that though, from that book you I bought it off you.
Yeah,
actually.
Yeah, it was when I
Bash the Rich,
Bash the Rich, yeah.
That book, it was saying that a lot of the money that funded the class war movement back in the 80s was from the girls from Ladbroke Grove.
Yes,
with the working girls,
sex workers. Yeah. I mean, like certainly there is.
They funded a lot of it, which I thought was.
I mean, I would say
fantastic.
Like politically minded sex workers. I mean, have been like a core part of political radicalism in the UK. I mean, like the English Collective of Prostitutes.
That was the most for me. That was apart from all the stuff about because he lived in Swansea, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Have a look at Ian Bone. Google Ian Bone and have a look at if he comes up.
Interesting. I mean, like
he
was on the news last week, wasn't he?
Was he?
Yeah, for abusing Jacob Rees-Mogg's children.
Oh, thank God. Hang on a minute. Right. Let's This is what I was going to say. You said abusing. I thought, don't say children.
Oh, no, sorry.
And then
sorry.
You said children.
Yeah. Sorry. No, when I say abuse, it was verbal abuse. There was no sexual abuse. It was purely verbal abuse. And to be honest, I don't think it was verbal abuse.
Then.
I mean, essentially, I mean, get the clip up. You can play this. There'd be no. So you want Ian Bone, Jacob Rees-Mogg.
Fucking hell, Barry's head nearly exploded when you said he was in the news. We've just been talking about how great his book was.
Ian Bone.
As in bone.
Yeah, as in give
them
bones. Give it, no, not kids. No, put Jacob Rees-Mogg in as well, and you'll find the clip. So basically, he was protesting Jacob Rees-Mogg, which I think is a perfectly reasonable thing anybody should do.
Yeah, he's a turd.
And Jacob Rees-Mogg brought his children out and said, "Look, come and look at the protesters, children." In the attempt to sort of shame them. I think
Jacob Rees-Mogg. Turn it up on the amp.
Okay, so before you play it, let me just give some context. Just to give some context about this.
Hang on, he's giving us context.
That Jacob Rees-Mogg has been quite effective at kind of bringing out the farce out of anybody protesting him.
Yeah.
When people have tried to shut down meetings that he's been at, he's kind of gone over and kind of got in there, right really close to them and been terribly polite and kind of let's talk about this. I mean, you're wearing a mask. I don't mind. Let's have a talk about this. So some people protest him outside his house and I forget what particular thing in the news cycle, what outrageous thing he'd done, because there's so many to choose from. But I think he'd done something particularly obnoxious that particular day.
He's an absolute twat.
And that Ian Bone, as a narco activist, just one of those people who very much believes in I think it's really I'll go off topic here, but you just go for it. You don't you don't write a strongly worded letter. You go and find the person and go, "Oi, that was fucking out of order. What the fuck do you think you're saying?"
He's one of those guys.
One of those guys. So he went and did that.
He's a straight up dude.
Not alone. I mean, he is a member of a group, Class War, which have been going since the early 80s. They had a newspaper.
Are they still functional?
They are a very fluid sort of group. There are local groups all over the country that come and go. Newport Class War. Remember the days. If anybody from Newport Class War back in the day is listening, then fucking hi, Steve.
We're not supposed to name people.
Anyway,
literally,
it would only take two people.
Apart from Steve. Yes, Steve, Newport Class War.
Yeah. It was never. It's always been a very, very fluid group with no real membership list or anything like that, but Bone set it up when he was living in Swansea. It was a newspaper. There were huge periods of time where there was no activity. Kind of comes and goes.
I can remember in the late '80s. This is why, I was so interested in that book.
Yeah,
because I can remember actually there was a Class War book. Which was sold in, is it Black? Was it called Blackwell's? Used to be in the Hayes in Cardiff.
The Decade of Disorder.
Yeah.
There was two. There's Decade of Disorder and
these fantastic collages in there. And you had
coffee table book almost.
Images that would absolutely. My nan, God rest her soul, if she saw them, it probably would have killed her back then.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
it was lots of Queen with a meat cleaver in her head. And stuff like that.
Thatcher with the cleaver in there. But also lots of I think quite empowering kind of talking about just that everyday life resistance.
Yeah.
I think they did a great deal to bridge that sort of, because when we talk about look, I tell you what, we're getting terribly off topic. Let's play the
turn it up. It don't matter.
Just play it.
There's no one here in this forest. that we're in.
Simple question. You won't answer the question, will you? Your dad won't answer the question. Your daddy's a totally horrible person. Lots of people don't like your daddy, you know that. No, he's probably not told you about that. Lots of people hate him. Because he won't pay much, he pays his... You know the nanny looks after him, daddy doesn't pay her very much. Daddy says the minimum wage doesn't count for anything. All the London living wage. Daddy doesn't pay the living wage. So poor nanny crook who looks after him, watch your bottom, she doesn't get enough money every week. But daddy doesn't care.
She's laughing.
Latin eating, orientated top, which he does pretty well.
Yeah, so basically...
That's not abuse.
Yeah, it's not abuse.
It's not, is it? That's trying to make them think.
Yeah, I mean, and it's a fact. I mean, like, so the Nanny Crook, who is the family nanny, who raised Jacob Rees-Mogg himself.
She's and quite now, fit.
No, that's not her.
Oh, that wasn't her.
No, that wasn't her. But no, so Jacob himself was raised by her. She's an older woman, much older woman.
Right. Okay.
She did everything from wiping his bottom through. I mean, like, this is how the rich live. This is how this is what they're like. So
I've got kids. Now raised, it's awful trying to like.
Now she raises her kids.
I want a nanny.
So now she raises, and Jacob doesn't pay a minimum wage.